Katchi. This is a space of love, y'all. Welcome or welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the cosmos today. I really felt that the energy was very intense and all over the place today. And I felt very called to get into some movement medicine today. Um, Yesterday we had a very interesting live where I ended up having everything set up like landscape horizontally, and I did not realize how much that affected the way that everything works. So my apologies to anybody that was like struggling with comments and stuff like that. But today I was channeling into this Aries energy, and I feel like there is something about spearheading movement in your life right now, if this message is resonating for you. And for me personally, in my life, I have done a lot of structured fitness and like things where you push yourself really hard. Like you run really fast, you sit really still in meditation, all the extremes. Um, and I feel that there are a lot of benefits in a lot of those systems. They say it's best to learn a system and it's best to learn the rules so that you can break them, so you can play with them. But there's a lot of systems and there's a lot of different fitness and physical movement practices that you can participate in. And I feel like before you like really dive deeply into one of them, it's really important for everybody to have a regular movement practice because that feeds into your life intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, energetically. Everything doesn't fall apart, but everything struggles when you don't prioritize your circulation and your like hormone health and your um, your mood. There's so many pieces of it. Your interoception, your awareness of your environment and your awareness of yourself. It improves your ability to like make things happen in the world and set boundaries and like do the things with your hands, do the physical things in the physical world. So if you're struggling right now with a blockage in some sort of spiritual, emotional, energetic, mental kind of place, um, and this message is resonating for you today, then the base of resolving these issues, these loops, these things that you're stuck in is this movement practice. And I feel that people most of the time spend way too much time and energy and stress um, figuring out like what program should I do? What system should I use? What's the best? What's best for me? And I feel that so much mental energy goes into that process that it causes actually a lot more blockages and issues and honestly even stress. Like it might even be better to be just chilling on the couch and relaxing and enjoying yourself and having a good time with your nervous system than to be stressing out over your fitness. So, if that's where you're at and you need to chill on the couch and stop being so intense and so hard on yourself, you need to let your nervous system, get re-regulated. Maybe you should rest more. Maybe you should prioritize that. I sure did 6 months ago. I was not pushing myself because my nervous system was shot and I needed to rebuild it up slowly. And I feel that there are a lot of people going through that right now, even just like collectively in the last 6 years everybody has kind of been put in that position more or less in one way or another, right? Yeah, totally. Hello. Um, so I think that so many people are going to be resonating with the particular message of getting a fitness habit integrated into their lives without using force, without using guilt, without using shame, without using fear to motivate you through those things. And so where I started was resting and laying down a lot. But if you want a system and that's where you're at right now, I would highly recommend getting into any of the like somatic exercises, somatic workouts. I really like the workout witch. She's just got a good vibe and a good system that I have enjoyed in the past. But really anything that's like very, very slow, mindful movement where you're almost trying to use as little effort as possible, to move as slowly as possible. Hi, Korea. Oh my goodness. Hi. Um, so no matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are in your life, you have somewhere where you can start. And somatics, I feel like, is the base for everybody because we all have a lot of healing to do in that realm. And those are great to do in bed and stuff. That's not what this message is about today, though. So, side message for anybody that needs that information. But today, in this Aries movement medicine, I wanted to get into a couple of very easily digestible, simple tools. Instead of learning a whole system and then learning how to break those rules and play within that system, I recommend learning mm, little practices, little pieces, little tools, and then having a toolbox that you're building where you're able to tie them together. And so I would start with doing myself. I started doing 15-pound kettlebell, what do you call that? Swings um, in the morning when I woke up, like to get my blood moving, to get me into my body, to get all of my joints activated and engaged, to, get some endorphins going, like give you some motivation. I don't drink coffee, so that's nice and helpful. But the way that I started that movement when my nervous system was shot and I was so focused on somatics, the first thing I did when I woke up is I would do these kettlebell swings, whether that was 3, whether that was 300, whether that was really intense, whether that was really gentle, you know? It was not about some prescription. It was about just showing up and connecting to my body on a regular basis, creating that routine, creating that consistency, creating that expectation. So it's almost muscle memory. It's almost your body expects it and something feels wrong if you get up and you just go make your coffee, or you get up and you just press your snooze and go back to sleep for an hour or whatever. And so I didn't have a lot of great form or a lot of strength or any of that, but I would show up whether I was sick, whether I was bleeding, whether whatever was happening. And even if it was just 3 kettlebell swings, I would have that intentional movement. And that was the first piece in that toolbox. And I also learned things watching my mother um, when I was growing up, taking time for intuitive movement and putting on like her favorite music and stretching. And she has a yoga background, so she's got, the structure, the understanding of how to do that. But she wouldn't go through some vinyasa flow that she'd memorized. She would like feel her body. She would dance. She would move. She would stretch. It was very intuitive. It was very customized. It was very in the moment. And it was also like a flow art, which is very useful for your nervous system, very good for your mental health, for your brain circuitry in general. And so I learned a little bit from that. And I started moving my own body that way. And then I learned some tools, like I learned how to move certain ways that nobody taught me. I just figured it out on my own. And that's another tool in the toolbox. Okay? And so I recommend getting up, doing something. And don't try and like make it a big system. Every time you have time throughout the day, make it fun. Like put on your favorite music. If you have 5 minutes, if you have 1 minute, if you have 5 hours, take it aside and use some of your tools in your toolbox. It's like every day, it's not like you're trying to fix something that's broken, but it's like you're trying to invest into the regeneration of this energy that you use to accomplish everything that you do in your life. So if you want to stoke that fire, but not like burn yourself or burn yourself out or anything like that, then any moment that you have the opportunity and you have the opening and it's easy and it flows and it feels good and you think about it, you say, I have an opportunity to put on some music, some sound that inspires me to move, that inspires me to be present, that inspires me to feel good. I'm going to dance, I'm going to run, I'm going to walk, I'm going to stretch, I'm going to use this tool or that tool, or just for 5 minutes or 5 hours or 5 seconds. And when you do that, it's not like you have a rubric. It's not like you're trying to get to some specific goal of this number or that number of minutes or hours or heartbeats or steps per day. If that's what you're into and that works for you, great. But I think a lot of times when you're counting your steps all the time, you're thinking way too much of in like this competitive mindset about it, and you don't need that. And in fact, it's way more inspiring and it builds upon itself. It stokes that fire in a slow, steady, sustainable way that really feeds into every other part of your life. If you just take those little moments and you enjoy those little moments and you appreciate those little moments and you get those dopamines and endorphins and those rewards in the things that run through your blood, you get the muscle memory, so that more and more over time, when those moments come up, when you can be with yourself, when you can be in your body, when you can build that energy, when you can process things, then you will feel inspired to. It will be natural. It will be an internal motivation. It's not some coach standing over you, yelling at you. Sometimes I guess that's necessary for some people, but I think by and large, if you need that, you probably shouldn't be pushing yourself that way. If you have the internal motivation to do something, then it's going to last. It's not going to burn out. It's going to be sustainable and it's going to build and it's going to grow and it's going to be exponentially useful. And if you try and just push yourself through something really intense, do your P90X or whatever, because you have this specific endpoint and you want to get to the endpoint, you are taking yourself out of your body. You're taking yourself out of the moment. You're really doing a lot more harm, I think, in the end. Even if you end up with like a 6-pack or the ability to lift so many pounds, what does that really mean? What does that really matter? Think about what it is that physical fitness does for you that you personally find valuable, not that somebody else told you to find valuable. So, to get started putting these tools in your toolbox, practicing them, having fun with them, and getting the opportunity to start putting them into practice. For Aries, we're going to be doing just a mountain pose here because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's like I come into the world and now I'm not like floating in this buoyant liquid environment. Now I am fully affected by gravity. Now I am fully present here. And mountain pose is literally just like, here I am. I am here. And this is almost like a restorative exercise in alignment with Aries energy. It's upright energy. It's going from one dimension to another and starting a whole new cycle. And to start a whole new cycle, you want to kind of settle in, right? This is like when the bow of the bow and arrow is set back and you're getting ready to shoot, but you're not there yet. And you're just sitting in it and you're just breathing. There's all this potential that's built there. And this is the 0 point. This is the 0 point energy. I mean, Aries is the 0.1 energy. So this is going from 0 to 1. And you're literally shaped like a 1, right? So you're standing up straight, you're thinking about the orientation of your spine, kind of imagining if you were to tie a string around the top of your head, the top of your spine, and that string got just pulled up towards the sky a little bit. not forcing anything, but breathing into it and allowing that elongation, allowing your shoulders to fall back and down on your rib cage, feeling the air around you, feeling the stillness around you, the quiet around you, feeling your feet settled into the ground and rooting down into the earth, and feeling your body lengthen down through your toes and up through the top of your head and out through your hands. And taking a few deep breaths here. If you're into mantra and sound medicine, you have an instrument to utilize for that inside of you if you'd like. And a good mantra for this Aries energy, I feel like, is the Lam seed mantra, kind of associated with the root chakra, because this is like going from the root to the head. It's going from 0 to 100. And this is the still point before we go. And then Aries is the baby, you know? Aries is crowning. Aries is the beginning. Aries is the beginning. And that's interesting because in my beginning, the exercise we're going to do today, I personally did not do. I skipped crawling. I never crawled. I was just like, man, I need to get out of here as fast as possible, and I don't really have the muscles for it. So I'm just gonna throw myself and catch. And I ended up walking around basically in the fetal position for, I don't know, 25, 30 years. And so that really did a number on my neck, on my hips, on every part of my body. That ended up doing a number on my organs and like all of my internal systems, emotional, mental, neurological. So many issues came from this skipping over the foundational, the first, yeah, the foundation of movement. We can roll around, we can, like kick and paw at our moms, like we can do some movement. But really, when we start to become individual, when we start to take responsibility personally for our physical bodies and move them from one space to another, and we're no longer exactly a part of our mother, it's a process, but we start creating this separation and we start creating this autonomy. And the way that you start creating that separation and that autonomy is not by walking, but by crawling. It's the first moment where a baby can really intentionally, I guess you can like roll away, but it's like the first moment you can really intentionally remove yourself from an environment and put yourself in another environment and take responsibility for that, take control for your body, take ownership of your body. Um, and that's, I feel like that's a lot of what Aries is about. Take ownership of yourself, take ownership of your body. So now that we've grounded down a little bit, we're going to do what I think is probably one of the most important exercises on the face of the planet for all human beings. It affects everything, and all of our back problems would be so much better if everybody did this on a regular basis. But just like shaking, crawling is not really socially acceptable. And so there's a mental blockage you have to go through to get past that, unless you're in a private space, which I would recommend you do for yourself if you have the ability. And this is literally exactly what it sounds like. So I'm gonna have you get on your hands and your knees, feeling your spine and your hips and your shoulders where they are in space. And then I'm gonna have you lift up a little bit off of your knees. Make sure your shoulder blades are as, locked down and back onto your rib cage as possible. And then I'm gonna have you take your right hand forward and your left hand, or your left foot, sorry, forward. I'm gonna have you take your left hand forward and your right foot forward. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. And since I'm coming off camera, I'm gonna go back for real. And I also think that that can be very useful and beneficial. If you have the ability to hold your core in, then that would be very helpful for the alignment. But again, if you don't move a lot, probably any movement is good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be part of a system. Oh, I lost it. See, I'm so not used to this coordinated movement with the opposite hand and foot. And I feel that even people who have developed the ability to crawl when they were the age where it was appropriate to be doing that all the time, I think a lot of us over time lose this ability, and that can cause all kinds of problems that would be very easily remedied by literally just like 5 minutes a day of this coordinated right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot, bringing your awareness to your spine, to your core, keeping your hips and shoulders in alignment without forcing, without pushing. And if you're weak and if you struggle, which you will when you do new things, be patient and be grateful that you're just like getting all this feedback from your body. That's what you're here for. You're not here to do 10,000 steps. You're not here to get 6-pack abs. You're not here to get your doctor off your back. You are here to connect with yourself, to connect with your body, to show it gratitude in action, to really literally impact every part of your life, your mental health, your work, your relationships, your physical health. Everything comes back to your presence, to your awareness, to your alignment, to your connection, to you. And we all have so many distractions and so many influences that like to tell us that it's like negative, selfish, unproductive, unhelpful, unkind, to take time for ourselves. And again, just like crawling and shaking and all of these socially unacceptable things, if you're able to get past that mental block, you're gonna have a much better time. And if you learn how to not let those voices determine how you move through the world, who you choose to be, then that's going to become muscle memory. That's going to get easier and easier. That's going to free up more and more time, space, energy for you to connect in with your body as many times as possible throughout the day, for as long as possible, with as much intensity as feels appropriate. And sometimes really slowing down extraordinarily slowly on purpose. I may repost that Workout Witch full body routine if you want to develop an understanding of some of these somatic exercises, but honestly, maybe I should just do some more movement medicine so we can focus in on one at a time, because that's been very helpful for me in my personal journey, as like I am just going to focus on one goal, on one intention, on one practice, on one thing that I'm getting in the routine. And once it's so established that I feel wrong, something feels off if I'm not doing that routine, only then, and then a little bit after, kind of like waiting after just to make sure, then I add in a new thing and I just focus on that one thing. And this other habit that's already built in, like the waking up, doing the kettlebell swings first thing in the morning, or like I used to wake up and do a long hamstring stretch every day when I woke up. You get that going to such a point where you aren't thinking about it anymore. It's part of who you are. And that frees up time, space, energy for you to focus on a new one thing. So, the one thing I want you to focus on today is honestly, even just pick one. Pick the mountain pose or the crawling, and really take your time sinking into how that feels, how that challenges you, what that brings up, thoughts, emotions, what is, what you struggle with, what is hard about it. Um, and just taking in as many points of information as possible from your body, because you have everything you need to be and do and create everything that you want to be and do and create. But you can't just go ask somebody to give you all the answers and then you do it, and then that's not how it works. You have to build a system that works for you. And so I'm giving you ideas, I'm giving you suggestions, I'm giving you stories. But at the end of the day, what's most important is that you do what is best for you. Is there a difference of taste between normal coffee versus decaf? I am sure that there is, but I do not drink coffee, so I don't know. All right. So I think I'm going to actually pull a couple of cards for y'all because I can and I feel like it. What deck are we going to use for this Aries collective in here today? Ooh, how about the Frequency Tarot deck by Teal Swan? Very much a pinnacle example of doing your own thing and not caring how other people look at it and getting really accomplished and successful and stoking a whole lot of energy and creating a whole lot of influence, Freya, Folly, Michael, Mary, please be here with me now. Please allow me to channel for the Aries collective a message in alignment with their greatest and highest good, balanced with that of the collective at large. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Anything else, Spirit? Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Aw. Okay, on the bottom, we got alchemy. Cute. Appropriate. And then self-love. We were kind of just talking about that, huh? In the face of opposition, in the face of shame, in the face of challenges and challengers, knowing the value of putting yourself first and putting your own oxygen mask on first through experience, because you've done it and you felt it in your body and you've lived it in your life, and you know your life is better when you do it that way. Right? And integrity, choosing to move in that self-love, choosing to continue to choose that self-love, to continue to be dedicated to that integrity, even when it gets hard, even when people say things, or, there are looks, or there are obstacles people try and place in your path, or just don't let any of that get in the way. You can be frustrated about it, you can grumble about it and stuff, but don't let your whole day and your whole life and your whole identity get wrapped up in those people, places, and things that are trying to keep you from yourself. And if you're ever in doubt and you're ever struggling and you want to know how to get back there, you connect with yourself, you connect with your body. And if you want to know how to do that and you just joined us, go ahead and watch the playback in a couple of minutes. 30:20 on the clock. Gonna give you guys a really close visual of that. The self-love card is 10, I believe, and the integrity card is 27. So ones and sevens might be significant for you. That's like Magician and Chariot energy. It's like Aries and Libra energy. Aries, Libra access. Putting your own oxygen mask on first. I am channeling right now I'm I'm receiving right now the Libra zodiac message. And that has been a big challenge for me to process and integrate and get out to you guys. Hasn't come out yet. Because for me personally, I have had only and many experiences with extremely chaotic Libras. And that is not what people generally tend to think of in the stereotype of astrology. And so when you have Libra that's in like a super chaotic, unharmonious, unhealthy energy that struggles in relationships and struggles, you know, it's because they are so attached to approval, attention, connection. They're trying to force equanimity, they're trying to force harmony, and it becomes a codependent energy. And so they don't put themselves first. And a real leader and a real healthy relationship partner puts themselves first so that they're capable of showing up the way that they need to be in relationship, to be in harmony. And they know the importance of accepting and acknowledging when that is not the case. So even as far as internally, showing up for your body, no matter how you're feeling, because when you don't feel good and you show up for your body, that's really freaking hard. You don't want to be there. You want to disassociate. But it is through feeling your pain, acknowledging it, accepting it, not trying to run away from it, that we actually heal, we actually integrate things, we actually get to move forward, we actually get to enjoy those healthy relationships. So, while I am working on this Libra energy healing within myself, I recommend that y'all reflect upon this. Yes, let the energy move you, reflect upon it mentally, all of those things, but especially think about it and then go move about it and take that info back to your head, your heart, your hips and do something with it. Do something cool with it. 33:33 on the clock. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Aries. I will see you next time. Love, light, peace, and personal responsibility. I love you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day.